Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Aisyah Zahrah Qonita from A1 2019. Now, I would like to tell you about my presentation, and the title is Improving the Speaking Skill of Second Grade Students of 9 Junior High School Cimahi by Using Movie. And this is my table of contents. First, I would like to explain about introduction, and the second literature review, and the third is research method. I would like to begin my presentation from introduction, and this is my research background. English teacher teaching English as a foreign language was focusing on the skills that would be tested in the national examination, and it's usually reading and writing. The technique used by the teacher was unvaried. Usually, the teacher only asked the student to do the task and then discussed it together. And the teacher could influence media inside the classroom, such as picture, series, song, lyrics, games, and movies. And this is my research question. How can movie improve the speaking skill of the second grade students of 9 Junior High School Cimahi? And my objective was aimed in improving students' speaking skill of second grade of 9 Junior High School by using movie. This is the significance of the study. For the student, the study was expected to be able to improve the student's speaking skill in an enjoyable classroom environment. For the teacher, this study was expected to give consideration or alternative for the English teacher in understanding the concept of teaching speaking through theories stated in this study. For the researcher, this study was expected to give me a valuable experience which can be used for doing a better action research in the future. For the reader, the study was expected to give more input for readers that movies can be used as a technique to deliver materials in teaching speaking. Let's move on to the definition of key terms. Speaking skills are defined as the skills which allow us to communicate effectively. They give us the ability to convey information verbally and in a way that the listener can understand. Here are the indicators. First is pronunciation. Pronunciation influences the meaning of words. People with good pronunciation can speak clearly for each word. There are four aspects to be mastered in pronunciation. First, sound. The second, stress. And the third, intonation. And the fourth, rhythm. Grammar is the study of the rules how to combine words into sentence. It consists of tenses and rules to use the words depending on the time, condition, situation. It produces grammatical and lexical sentence clearly. Vocabulary means the choice of words should be suitable with the topic. People cannot communicate effectively or express their ideas both oral and written form if they have no sufficient vocabulary. Fluency is ability to express something in spoken language without pause. And the last is content. As we know that the function of speaking in transformation an idea from the speaker to listener, so the speaker has to make sure that the listener understand the speaker what are going to say. Movie is a series of moving images shown on a screen, usually with sound, that make up story. The components are plot, setting, characterization, structures, and time. Teaching speaking. Teaching speaking is teaching learning process to achieve the main goal of language learning, namely speaking. The common materials used in the classroom were mostly taken from the LKS or students' task books and sometimes taken from the internet. Sometimes the materials were taken from the previous national examination. The teacher usually asks the student to do the task and then they will discuss together. Let's move on to literature review. Speaking is oral expression involves not only the use of the right sounds in patterns of rhythm and intonation, but also the choice of word and inflection in the right order to convey the meaning. Speaking deals with many skills to be mastered because it deals with three areas of knowledge. First is mechanics. using the right words in the right order with the correct pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. And then function is knowing when clarity of message is essential and when precise understanding is not required. And then social and cultural rules and terms is understanding how to take into account who is speaking to whom, in what condition, about what, and for what reason. Teaching speaking had its own characteristics because speaking deals with utterance, not sentences, spoken text, not written text, and so on. Teaching speaking is more demanding in the teacher than the teaching of any other skill. Many problems can appear from the process of learning language itself. So the role of teacher in EFL is very important. According to Harmer, 2002, there are three roles that should play by the speaker teacher. First, become prompter. The teacher may be able to help them and the activity to progress by offering wise suggestion. Become a participant. Teacher can participate in every activity that had been said before. And then the last is become feedback provider. When students are practicing, teachers should not just stop their speech and give them some correction. It is better to give students feedback when they are already finished their speech. Next is media. Media is instrument that can increase students' motivation and make the distributing of important points in a material of a particular subject more effective. There are three types of media: visual, audio, and audiovisual. Visual with seeing something, audio with hearing something, and audiovisual is seeing something while listening. And then there are five characteristics of good media. First, the media match the teaching objective, so the media have to suitable with the goals. And then the media support the content of teaching materials. And the third, the media are easy to be obtained. And fourth, teachers are able to use the media. So uh, being a teacher, you have to understand about media. And then the last is they are relevant with students' cognitive level. Let's move on to the next chapter is research method. I use action research in this research based on chemist and McTaggart. Planning, the activity of preparing all the material or instrument that would be used. And action, what teacher did in the classroom and how the class was managed based on learning scenario. Observation, activity to observe the classroom situation and to know behavior during the process teaching and learning. Reflection, the process of analyzing an experience of practice in order to describe, analyze, evaluate, and so inform learning about practice. And the subject of this research are students of class 8A of SMP Negeri 9 at Raya Lewi Gajah Street number 206. And this is the research instrument. There are three research instruments. First, observation checklist. Second, interview guidelines. And the third is speaking scoring rubric. Data collection techniques, qualitative in nature. The data are in the form of field notes, interview transcripts, and student scores. And data analysis techniques, the qualitative data involve data that were obtained from field notes applied during the treatment in each cycle, while the quantitative data are obtained from the result of pre-test and post-test. And this is my schedule of the research. I begin the research from 3rd April until 3rd June. All right, I will end this presentation with summarize. In summarize, based on identification of the problem that could be found, and I choose one problem to focus, which was the technique teaching. This research focused on the use of movie in improving student speaking skill using qualitative research and conducted at 2nd grade 9 junior high school Cimahi. That's all from me. I'm so sorry if I did a lot of mistaken. Thank you for your kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.